Hi there, welcome to the next episode of Maximum Human Performance. I'm your host, human performance expert, Brad Valancourt. Thanks for joining us today. You ever notice how a lot of high achievers, they have some really great tools and they keep going back to those same tools while at the same time neglecting some of their other really good tools that they just don't even think about? And maybe it's because they're out of practice, or it's something that they never thought could work in a certain situation. But man, there are a lot of great tools that high performers really should be using, and they don't. So today I'm going to help uncover some of those so that you can look in your toolbox and figure out, when was the last time I used this tool and how can I use it today? Now the first one I'm going to talk about is persistence. When it comes to persistence, it's super important that you act exactly the same way after every time you fail so that it doesn't build on you. You don't want that negativity building on you. Instead, with that persistence, you treat it like it's your very first time, just with a little bit more experience. Every high achiever who's got high amounts of persistence, it pays off, right? Because you just keep going, and eventually you're going to find exactly what it is that you're looking for, whether it's with a partner or with getting a new client or finding a new business. Keep in mind that when it comes to high achievers and persistence, a lot of times it can lead to a lot of burnout. So even though there's persistence, you got to make sure that you pick your timing. Pick your timing and allow yourself to rest when you need, and then you can go back at it again when you're full and ready. Now when it comes to self-discipline, a lot of high achievers model themselves after people who have had a ton of self-discipline, and that's great. But keep in mind that with self-discipline, it's not going to be perfect. So keep that drive going and allow yourself to keep getting back up again. And hey, you know what? Let's go at it again. Right? That goes along with some persistence. But with that self-discipline, that means you're doing this for you so that you can reach your goals, whether it's for yourself or it's for anybody else. When it came time to get ready to do the Ironman Canada, right, it took a lot of self-discipline, but I was so driven on the inside wanting to succeed that it didn't matter. And anything that I had to let go of, whether it be temporarily or forever, those were always lower than my ultimate priority. When it comes to self-discipline, when you deal with top priority things all the time, it's much easier to have that discipline. Now here's an excerpt from world-famous sport performance coach Charles Poliquin. He's written articles all over the world in almost every medical journal, and this by far is the most popular of any of his articles. Now keep in mind, Charles is from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. He had a really thick French accent, which I cannot duplicate for you. Discipline does not exist. There is only love. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. You are the result of what you love most. If it means more to us to have a jelly donut than it is for us to step on stage as a bodybuilder, then that's what we're going to do. If it's more important to us to stay up late and watch television than it is for us to go to bed at a certain time and then get up early and get things going early, then that's what's going to be important to us. And those who adhere to those rules, they're going to find that, okay, well, what is it that I can have a great deal of success on the positive side, so that, maybe it's not about getting up at 4 a.m. to start work. Maybe it's about, going to bed at the same time every night, even if it's, say, 11, 12 o'clock, but it's the same time every night. And then once you get that going, you get some momentum. Get that momentum going, then you have a lot more power, and you can start choosing the times that you want to go to sleep, all this other stuff, because it's going to roll into other aspects of your life in a much bigger positive way than you ever imagined. Boy, are high achievers ever motivated, right? They are super motivated, and even when the chips are down, you still have some momentum left where, yeah, you know what, I still want this, I'm going to get my ass back up and head towards my goal right away. And that's what happens. I mean, when it comes to motivation, nothing can stop you. And that motivation has to come from within. A lot of people will look to something to help motivate them, to help get them going, right? The outside spark. but it doesn't last. It never does. That motivation coming from that burning inside, right? That instilled want to succeed, to reach your goal. Nobody can motivate a person like themselves. Just look at anything that you've ever wanted in your life, right? That you ever wanted to achieve, and that you started that motivation yourself, and you stoked that fire. And when you stoked that fire, the more you learned about achieving your goal, the more you could feel yourself achieving that goal, the hotter it got. It's exactly what you want with your motivation. Now, how resilient are high achievers? I tell you, super resilient. Sometimes a little bit too resilient when it comes to, listening to others. But, when you are resilient to the setbacks that can happen, whether it be injury, whether it be bankruptcy, or you have to pivot in your business because of something that you did not foresee coming. So many businesses have done that, where they pivoted when they didn't see all the stuff that was coming at them that was going to happen, whether it be the pandemic that happened or just a shift in the economy, shift in their market, right? When you can make that successful pivot, you can use the tools that you already have, and all you're doing is using them in a different way. And all these tools I'm talking about today, make sure that you have them in your toolbox and using them. Use them when you need to, and also look over your toolbox every once in a while and figure out, you know what, I could really use this tool right now. I didn't even think I had it, and hey, I can use that right now, and that's going to help me get to that next level. Now, as a high achiever, the better organized you are, the easier things are going to be, because you're not searching for things, whether you're searching for things in your mind or you're searching for things, in your phone. So when you are much better organized, you'll be faster. You'll get to the market faster. You will have creative ideas faster. You'll beat your competition. So make sure that you have everything organized, whether it be in your personal life or your business life. I really love the saying of entrepreneur Bedros Keuilian: how you do anything is how you do everything. Man, that rings so clearly in my head after seeing him. So true. Now remember, high achievers, you're adaptable. That means you are adaptable to changes. You're adaptable to the good things that come your way, so that you can start thinking at higher levels and start acting at higher levels. But you can also be adaptable if you've been in negativity for way too long, right? Festering. You can adapt to that, and you'll live in that wallow, and it sucks. It's so hard to get back out again. So make sure that the things that you adapt to are going to help you get up into a higher vibration, and not stay down on the ground where you just don't want to be. Because you'll search for what you don't want in life instead of going after the things that you truly do want. Those things that are burning inside that you really want to get, right? You want to keep that flame going, not just a flickering light, because it'll be easy to ignore. Next thing you know, it's been months or years, and you're still stuck in the same place, or relatively the same place. And you could have been so much higher, so much more successful. Now, even you left brain high achievers, you got to use that creative side every once in a while. And it might be difficult because, you just think about the logical things in life all the time. But when you're stuck, having that creativity can help you think about something new that has not been used, or something that you've never tried, that will get you to the end result that you're looking for. Maybe even faster, maybe even to more opportunities later on. Now, along with that creativity, right, you can use that with your left brain, and when the two come together, you have innovation. Now, when you've got innovation, then hey, you've got all these new things that you can do. You can try out and see, does this work? Maybe it will work for something else, but not for what I'm doing now. So I'll keep the notes on that for something some other time when I can use it for something else. But in the meantime, I'll keep trying these different innovations until something works, right? That's how you get into new markets. That's how you create new markets. Now, this one goes without saying, and I say that because I think it goes under the radar way too often. It's self-confidence, right? Without that huge amount of self-confidence, then you're going to look for others to give approval before you go ahead and do stuff. And sometimes that might be needed, but most of the time it's going to stop you or going to slow you down. Why would you do that to yourself, right? Allow that self-confidence to shine through. Know that, you know what, my gut feeling is telling me something, and this feels right. This feels really right. It's exactly what you're looking for. Then go after it. waiting for approval from anything or anyone else, or looking for things that are going to be perfect when everything aligns just right. Doesn't always happen. When you have the self-confidence, you will take imperfect action. When you take imperfect action, it's going to be so much faster for you when it comes to you getting to your ultimate goal, because you start to vibrate a little faster. You start to come up with these ideas, and then you create these innovations, and from there you've got all these new methods that nobody's ever tried, or ones that you can use to help others, which is really great. Let's say that you're somebody who loves to get stuff done, but you have a real tough time with figuring out, well, how am I going to get there? Well, sometimes it's not necessary. You just have to let faith take you, and that's great. Other times, you've got to be more strategic. You've got to have a plan. And as a lot of high achievers do, they want to get to where they want to go. And a plan sometimes is in the works, sometimes it isn't. Having a strategy, even just a loose strategy that you can be flexible with. Remember, getting to your end goal has to be flexible. Otherwise, you're going to be looking for a one road in, one road out to your goal, and that's just not how life is. You'll find a lot of different detours that will get you to your goal, but you got to take those detours. Now this one I love, details. I know that I like details, and I've got to get better at details. When it comes to being more detail oriented, then you get to find out, okay, what is really causing this? Now, one thing that I use, which is called body talk, that uses details, and you get so detailed as to how deep you've got to go. Sometimes not that deep, right? You've got, maybe it's a migraine, and the issue is maybe there's some toxicity from something that you ate or drank the day before that triggered it, right, from a chemical. That's fine. You know, that's only going to go so deep. Other times, it's, okay, now, why are you always stressed when it comes to certain types of work? Well, then you got to go into more detail, and you find out that, well, it's because when you were in school, maybe you kept getting disciplined by your friends every time you were to succeed at tests and stuff like that, because they couldn't get the grades that you were getting. It could be something as simple as that. I've seen so many over the years. And you really have to pay attention to what details are going to be specific to what your needs are. When you do that, you find the root causes so much faster. And I mean just so much faster and more complete. You become efficient, not only physically, mentally, and emotionally, but hey, in every other aspect of your life too, spiritually too. How many high achievers do you know that are focused 100% of the time? They are focused, then driven. I totally understand that. And when you get out of focus, it can be difficult to get yourself back, because then you start focusing in on other things. And if you've taken my 30-day challenge, then you'll know exactly what to do, because I've given you the tools to do exactly what you need to regain your focus within seconds. That's right, seconds. If you haven't tried it, definitely try my 30-day self-mastery challenge. It's incredible. You'll love it. And you'll have a whole new you in only 30 days. Now, how many high achievers do you know that aren't decisive? What happens when they're not decisive? They're usually burnt out, right? You want to use that tool of being decisive and recognize when you're not. When you recognize that you're not, then you need to take a step back and say, okay, what kind of break do I need? Is it a physical break, a mental break? Is it an emotional break? Do I need to deal with something that is hidden under the radar but causing so much havoc in my life, right? Is it a relationship that maybe doesn't work for you anymore? Or maybe doesn't work because of something that needs to be repaired in that relationship? No matter what, high achievers will be decisive. Even if you make the wrong choice, you need to make a choice. Because the road is littered by squirrels who did not make a choice and they're stuck in the middle of the road. It's an unfortunate truth, but we know it. Now, as a high achiever, you definitely love to persevere, right? Just make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. If you're trying to persevere because you want to get to your end goal, that's one thing. If you're trying to persevere, but it's your ego that's leading the way, then you may want to give yourself a gut check. It may not be worth it, because that ego will lead you down that wrong path, and when it does, it's going to be a long way to come out of that rabbit hole. It really is. It's going to be tough. So make sure that you're doing that for the right reasons. It's great to have that perseverance. When I finished the Ironman in 2009, I thought I was invincible. I went to do the marathon, the local marathon. And the marathon was about 8 weeks after the Ironman. Great, no big deal. You know, it's only 26.2 miles compared to 140 miles, right? That's so easy to do. Well, on my last training run, I rolled my ankles, both ankles, 3 times, and decided, you know what, with 2 sprained ankles, I don't care. I'm invincible. I can totally do this marathon. So I went and ran the marathon. Well, if you've ever heard the term winning the battle and losing the war, that was me. That was totally me. I finished the marathon, never finished another one after that. Just couldn't do it because my ankles were toast. All because I didn't listen to what I really needed to do. That perseverance turned into ego. Always persevere for the right reasons. And what's the one thing money cannot buy? It's our time, right? So we want to be time efficient. High achievers love to be time efficient because that's where we get the most amount done, and then we have more time to do some of the other things that we want in life. Maybe it's spending time with family. Maybe it's to work on a whole new project so that you can double what you're actually making. You know, it could be a lot of things. Just make sure that when you are doing time efficient, you are not blocking anything important out that can't be replaced. If you're being time efficient and it's helping you in your business, in your personal life, in your family life, then great, go for it. Keep being more and more time efficient until you get to that point where, all right, now it's starting to cost me too much, and therefore I'm at that limit. This is where time is at its most efficient. Now, having a positive mindset, super cool to have, right? And when you're down, it's got to be you that lifts yourself up. You can have others cheer you on and whatnot, but it's you that ultimately makes the decision to stand back up again, right? The longer we wallow into that crap, right, that mud pit, the harder it is to get back up, and the less time efficient we're being. Also, when you have a positive mindset, how does that affect everybody else? If you're in a negative mindset, does that not drive people away? I'll tell you, whenever I'm in a negative mindset, I find myself more alone than ever. You definitely want to be on the more positive mindset kind of framework, because you'll bring other people that will want to help, that will want to collaborate with you, people that care about you, and all these things happen when you're in that positive mindset. And it doesn't mean that there aren't going to be tough times and negativity around you. It's all on how you deal with it, right? You allow the emotions to flow through you. You never want to hold on to that kind of stuff. And with high achievers, that can be real easy. Allow emotions, every emotion, whether it's happiness, whether it's sadness, grief, right? You want that to just flow in and out you. When it flows out, then it's a hell of a lot easier for you to continue with your life. Be back to that neutral side so that you don't have to be so uppity all the time because you're just faking it. And you don't want to fake that. Why fake life? It's beautiful. It's beautiful, this life. Now, as high achievers, how much do we love to problem solve, right? Like, that is awesome. So if you're a problem solver, then go after problems that you see and try to solve them. Whether you solve them for yourself or you solve them for other people. If other people don't want to listen to a suggestion because they want to try and solve it themselves, then let them. But in your own head, you can try and solve these problems yourself and figure out, you know what? I just figured out a way to do this a much easier, much faster, much cheaper way of doing it and get the same quality. Right? We all want high quality in life. High achievers love quality stuff. I will pay more for high quality knowing that I'm going to get that high quality because I don't want to have to spend my time, my hard-earned time, to try and shop for another object or try to pay for another experience to do it over again because it was just so crappy the first time. Give me that high quality stuff every time. High achievers, a lot of times we get stuck in a room by ourselves and we stay stuck there trying to figure all this shit out ourselves, right? What good is that? If we can collaborate with somebody who's been there before, maybe they can give us some insight that we needed so that we can still do things our way or do things in a way that have already been done. Therefore, why waste time and just do it the other way We can get things done faster. We can also get things done better. I love collaborating with people, especially people who have been there before. But if it's two people who haven't done it before, then you're still trying to figure things out, and man, you can come up with some great ideas. I mean, some wonderful ideas. And this could be about work, this could be a home project, this could be a project with one of your children, whatever the project is. And if you collaborate with somebody, man, you are gonna have some fun. You're gonna have some great ideas together. How many of us high achievers are continuously learning? We love to learn new things. I mean, I'm doing these podcasts and I'm learning every single day. Oh, you know what? I could do this better. I could be more animated. You know, we love to learn. And personally, I love learning about the human body, the brain, everything about it. And so ever since I was 11 years old, I've been reading books, taking courses, and I still do that kind of stuff so I can figure out what's the best way that a human can perform. How can I get this person to perform better, physically faster? Maybe they want to jump higher. Maybe they are a business person that needs to focus more. Maybe it's about, so many different things. The body can do so many wonderful things. I just love it. And that's why I keep learning about it. Body, mind, and spirit. Love it all. Now, at times we're not always going to have the tools, so we have to be resourceful, right? And we get stuck sometimes thinking, okay, well, I have to have this. I have to have it this way. I have to use these tools and only these tools. But when you don't have that, right? And same thing with money. If you have money, then you don't have to be as resourceful. But if you don't have the money, then being more resourceful will help you get that money. So as a high achiever, using your resources and being resourceful, those are going to be huge for you. You're going to have so much more growth when you remember to use those tools. Thanks for watching today. I hope you learned a lot, and maybe you enjoyed being at the lake today. So I know I did. Thanks for joining.
Do you have to subscribe right now?
No.
But your competition is.